those enablers that empower, that make it possible for parents to do their rightful role, to the extent that now it can become a policy. Because the current policy is that they should. And it's not forced that if you don't, then your child will be chased. So some parents are still negative. But in situations where certain things have been done, parents are willingly. Then there is a study we did with it was actually a global study done, which was looking at nutrition and health assessment. School assessing the nutrition status and the health status of school children on a routine basis. Now, I do not know how we can come up with a question to address that area of nutrition assessment.
And she can be given time to revisit and revise more to ensure that the content is what is aligning. And she's actually the leader of the nutrition policy in that sector there. But you need to help her because, as she has mentioned, most of the data for school feeding is scattered here and there, and getting it has been a tug of war.
I think initially I understood differently. Now, when you explained, I now understanding differently. When you are saying what is the nutrient composition, are you talking about nutrient in the food, like, iron, the zinc content, the vitamin A, the carbohydrate? Because to do that, it would be very difficult. Or you are talking about different food composition when you make a recipe or the food, when you cook. I don't know, what are you trying to look at through third question?
But like when you go to schools, I think we framed it the wrong way. There are schools where it's only posho and beans singing for the whole, like you only eat posho and beans. There's no meal, there is no fruit, there is nothing, it's only that. Yes. Then I also looked at the quality. Yes, the beans are there, but it is 6 months and nobody cares. Whether the weevils are there, you just want to eat because it is in the store. Is there a policy that monitors that you bought beans in October, it is January? What has happened? Is it the same beans? Because you eat weevils, they keep on floating, but it's beans.
Now, can we clap for all those who presented? Now, can we clap for all those who made comments? Can we clap for those who asked questions? And can we clap for those who responded to the questions, including those who responded badly? Nobody responded badly. These were very good. How do we move forward? What is the way forward? Any suggestions from?
Yeah, thank you very much. And I want to talk as a policy maker. And I want to look at the several steps that NIPN has walked. And of course, if you count, you may discover that NIPN is almost like 2 years old, more or less. We should be winning them, not only just from milk, but also winning them from children's food. They should be now eating adults' food. There is an element in NIPN's, core activities, and that is building capacity of the policy makers. Me, I'm thinking this is something which NIPN should have done yesterday. The rest of the things now NIPN can put aside and begin to think of how do policymakers start now with the very rudimentary things NIPN has put in place. Because all these things we have been trying to do is about policy. How do we derive policy questions? And people are going to ask us in the nutrition world that you see now very many people are dying because of maybe food safety issues. All these people are roasting chicken by the roadside and we are eating them in style. They are going to ask us, what are you doing in terms of regulation, in terms of making that the food is not only dusted by, by the vehicles fumes, but also the handling, those kind of things. That's policymakers want to start, provoking questions out of this data and coming out with the policy briefs and giving it to our bosses. I'm thinking the next thing is now focus on me.
I think I think you can't run away from capacity building. Yesterday in our group, that's also what we said. But I think after here also, knowing the objectives of NIPN and the fact that they are supposed to help us be able to come up with that information platform for improving nutrition, which is going to be handled through policy. What each of the sectors have generated here, I would think as a way forward, the consultants, when you're a consultant, we expect you to be burning candles. You don't sleep because you're a consultant. We expect the consultants that are working with OPM and to burn candles and translate these things based on the UNAP, because we already have UNAP that is guiding the milestone of what we are supposed to do. And if possible, after you have refined it, find a way of sharing that with the task force so that it is a buy-on and is going to be an element that can go into the capacity building.
Thank you so much for all this information. It is still raw information. We are going to organize it, synthesize it more, and organize it in a better, understandable way. And once we've done that, we are going to subject this information to another process, another refining process, where we shall call the policy advisory committee members from your ministries, from the agencies and departments, where we shall take some time to ensure that these are well refined, the feedback you've given taken into account, so that we may end up with a catalog of questions, policy questions, that we could begin working on as a data analysis unit at NIPN. And that is very important. And as we shared the NIPN operational cycle, once they go to the data analysis unit, analysis will be done, data will be found and analysis done, then it will come back to the communications unit, where products like policy briefs, info sheets, working papers, review papers will be generated, and they will come back to you. So it's a cyclic process, and it begins with us, and it has begun now. These questions set the agenda of the analysis that we are going to be doing, and this is going to happen several times for as long as the project is running. Now, from here, we shall have the PAC meeting. Number 2, we shall have also the report of this workshop shared. I hope everyone has registered and your email address is there. We have a rapporteur who has worked on the report. We'll make sure that we share the report within 14 days, the report should be shared. 2 weeks, people are saying they would have forgotten. So, can we change the statement? Within 2 weeks, it should have gone. So I think we need to put in more effort so that the report is circulated early, so that people go through it. And when you receive it, please give feedback. And acknowledge receipts. Our Commissioner, Strategic Implementation and Coordination from the Office of the Prime Minister, who has come to officially grace this workshop and to close the workshop. I'd like to invite you, Mr. Commissioner, sir. Please.
My name is Joseph Tejeza, and I'm working as Commissioner for Strategic Coordination and Implementation, Office of the Prime Minister. I've been given the agenda for this workshop again, and I've also been given a brief of what transpired here, and I must say I'm very excited by what you have done. I want to thank you very much, even before I read my official closing remarks. Commissioners who are present here, heads of departments, government officials, the media, academia,
civil society representatives, ladies and gentlemen. From the brief I've got, I've been informed that all the sectors that were invited are here. It's only the Minister of Finance that is not here, and I think we can somehow sympathize with them given the calendar we know is about to take place. But at the same time, we are aware that we have National Planning Authority. Therefore, I want to thank you once again for putting a lot of interest and commitment to this effort. So therefore, with great pleasure that I welcome you to this closing session and thank you once again for this great participation. Thank you very much for spending time and for sparing some time in your busy schedules to join us for 2 days on this multi-nutrition, multi-stakeholder nutrition 2-day retreat. As you were informed during this retreat, the National Information Platforms for Nutrition, that's NIPN, is a 4-year project of the government of Uganda, supported by the EU, implemented by Office of the Prime Minister, and NIPN facilitates multi-sectoral and multi-stakeholder dialogue on nutrition and supports the use of existing nutrition information and data to develop or refine policies and programs to address nutrition. When you look amongst yourselves, the cross-section of the government line sectors, the academia, the UN agencies, the civil society, and even some medical teams, I understand, on refugees. When you look at your cross-section, then you see that there is no doubt at all that we shall achieve what we are here for and what I've just read. Malnutrition is a major development challenge in the country, where the 2016 report of UDHS puts stunting at 29%, child wasting at 53%, anemia in women of reproductive age at 32%, among other indicators. This NIPN sector engagement retreat comes at an opportune time when the country is finalizing the NDP2, coming to the end of the NDP2, and also finalizing the documentation or the production of NDP3, and also the Action Plan 2 for nutrition. You are aware that Cabinet has already approved, has done its part in terms of the NDP3 direction, and we don't want nutrition to be left behind because it's key. The draft NP3 highlights government's commitment to address malnutrition in all its forms, while the Action Plan 2 for nutrition is the overarching government plan to operationalize the NDP3 nutrition commitments and desired outcomes. With your active participation, this retreat has been able to map out the relevant nutrition sectoral policies, relevant data, nutrition-relevant strategic activities, and nutrition policy-relevant questions that NIPN project will support in terms of data analysis and communication materials. It is also reassuring that we have a draft nutrition dashboard that was shared with you during this event. Mr. Nganzi calls it maiden because this dashboard is the first of its kind in terms of nutrition in the country, and therefore it cannot be taken as an ordinary thing. I have been informed reliably that in this workshop you have looked at strategic opportunities that exist amongst your different sectors. When you think of strategic opportunities, it's very hard for an individual dressed in yourselves, much as you are representative of your sectors. There's therefore an indication that you should understand what is required from this and carry it forward to your sectors so that you become full representative. Because I believe when you are coming here, you had the idea or you had some knowledge which became much, much more than you expected. I therefore would like you not to think that these strategic opportunities can be articulated by one voice or by a pair, 2 people in the sector, but I would like to encourage you that when you go back to your sectors, please cause an engagement so that those opportunities especially to do with nutrition support, are exploited. I've also been told that you have gone through the policy process and you have generated policy questions, and you have also done data source mapping. All those fall in the same vein. They have that same relationship. You may do it well here, and I believe the sectors which are here have done it well, but sometimes you don't go to 100%. So if you have done it 95%, please create that 5% when you go back, so that for all these deliverables you have had here, in terms of the strategic opportunities, the policy process, the policy questions, and the data source mapping is extended or extrapolated to where you're working. Because sectors have votes, they have agencies below them. So I would think that you also take advantage of your knowledge here to enrich your sector's information and participation in the nutrition agenda. I would like to thank the NIPN team in OPM, Mr. Nganzi and his team, for spearheading this strategic undertaking, and the broader stakeholder audience involving UNICEF and other members who are here from different sectors. Since this is a multi-sectoral nutrition project, the OPM acknowledges the goodwill of all sectors and pledges to continue implementing NIPN in a participatory manner. There is no doubt that with relevant data analysis, a dashboard and a central repository will go a long way in strengthening national capacity of MDAs for better nutrition information management and address nutrition and its effects in the country. Mr. Nganzi has briefed you, I think, adequately, and the NIPN team and even UNICEF knows it very well, that there is a specific model that is taking this agenda forward, and this is the model we are into. I want you to be encouraged, like I'd told Mr. Nganzi briefly, that this model, if it works very well, should support us in the coordination, Office of the Prime Minister, in coordinating other engagements, because we don't only coordinate nutrition. But at the same time, some challenges on the model may be there. Some people may feel that this model lacks ABCD, or this model only stops here. And please feel free to come out and say, we wish this model could be made better in this way, or could be improved in this way, or could even have some things reduced from it to make it work better. So in other words, since you have understood the model very well, when you get back to your desks, study it further and improve it so that we have effectiveness, because the Japanese say yesterday, the word is kaizen, today should be better than yesterday. So never feel that we have arrived. Let us always be challenged to improve and do better. I thank you all for the effort geared towards solving the nutrition challenges in our country, and urge you to advocate. I want you to advocate and be change agents, and also be influencers in your different places. When you live here, you should advocate, talk about the nutrition agenda, the nutrition elements, policy, questions you have generated here, and advocate for them. And also, don't only talk, but create change in your places. If some officers, if you yourself, you have been doing it different and you have learned a better way, please, we need change. Let us not have things done the same way all the time. And I believe you are the best to cause that change, and also to influence. Be able to reach out to audiences in your different sectors so that you influence and changes are made towards making this effort work better, to reduce malnutrition. And I believe that with concerted effort, the goal and objectives of NIPN will be achieved for God and my country.
Given, we shall also share with you the soft copies of the presentations. Okay, thank you so much.
I encourage all of you to go, if you access the presidential initiative.